Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price, because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/Android and enter promo code Android. And by PagerDuty. PagerDuty decreases alerting noise for IT operations and developers to ensure that the right engineers are notified at the right time. Increase your uptime and sign up for a 14-day free trial at pagerduty.com/twit. And by Prosper. Prosper is a peer-to-peer lending marketplace which connects people who are looking to borrow money with those who have money to lend. Visit prosper.com/twit and receive a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get a loan. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of All About Android, episode 202, recorded on Tuesday, February 24th, 2015. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
I'm Ron Richards.
And welcoming back to the table, we have Myriam Joire, prior to departing for Mobile World Congress. You're going to be going here in a couple of days, right?
Thursday, very bright and early.
Have you packed yet?
I'm always packed. You know when you're
ready to go.
Ready to go. It's like you got this bag that's ready to go, and I actually had to replenish it last night when I got back from the Northwest.
You're like, I might have to
I used it. I was like, wait a minute, I need to put clean laundry in this bag. So I just like threw out the dirty laundry, put clean laundry. I'm ready to go.
Wow. So your life is literally filled with on the cusp moments of like, oh no, I have to go there and review this device.
That's correct. I have two bags that are always like my work bag, like the pink one I bring that has all my gear, and then I have like clothing and
that makes sense.
toiletries bag that's ready to go.
You're just ready to go.
Is that way you don't have to worry stress about that?
That's impressive.
The moment you hear the call of a hardware review or a siren of the authorities, you are ready to go.
That's right. Because I love travel. I can't help it. I have to go.
We were talking a lot pre-show about travel.
All about travel.
That's right. Myriam had a lot to say about travel. We also have Florence Ion welcoming back from Greenbot. It's good to have you back.
Hey, what's up?
People couldn't hear your hands in the air, waving them like you just don't care.
In the air. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person.
That's okay.
But I am also good at MWC and so much to do.
Have you packed yet?
Where are you based?
I am based here in the Bay Area. I can't say where because people know where I live.
Smart move.
I want to guess sometime to give a specific address.
Actually, I'm at 140 Keller in Petaluma. Why? Wait a minute, is this live?
Well, there have been a few times. Like today's app, my app in the Arena is a location app, and I have a favorite as my house, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't use that.
You got to go through and comb those out a little bit,
but I won't say. So
understood. Yeah. Well, so Myriam, Florence, you're both going to Mobile World Congress. You have a lot to look forward to, and we have some stuff in today's show that's kind of a teaser, a preview of what you'll see there. We're going to be talking about mobile payments and a bunch of changes that are happening right now. A preview of the Samsung Galaxy S6 that we're likely to see from Mobile World Congress, also the HTC One M9. We're going to get a close look here in the studio of the LG G Flex 2, YouTube for Kids, and a whole lot more.
It's red.
Wow, you both have the LG G Flex.
I have mine too.
It's red. It's red.
I gotta finish my battery test.
It's red. Sorry.
It's like a phone seesaw.
Florence, you go ahead. There you go.
Oh, see, there we go.
Can you balance it like a pencil?
I know.
And you're like, wow, when you do that, it looks like it's bending. It's an optical illusion. No, it's not. That's just
nice.
That's what it does. All right. Hey, what do you say we talk about some news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Pack your bags because we're traveling to Android News.
Ooh.
That was one of the better ones. I like that one.
I like the leg room in that bumper.
Good. Yeah, it's roomy.
Very roomy and comfortable.
It's a roomy bumper.
So Google still has not released an official change log for Android 5.1, and we are all very upset about this because it exists. We know it. Android One devices are being released with Android 5.1, yet we have no official word from Google as far as what that actually means. But thanks to Android Police, as they want to do, and they are very good at, they've been publishing article after article of pretty minor features of Android 5.1. So I'll rattle a few of these.
I'd say detail-oriented features.
And honestly, I'm pretty amazed that half of these were actually discovered because my eyes would never see this stuff. Okay, so we've talked in the past about the change to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and the quick settings menu. You can do that directly from the settings menu. And Bryan, if you're able to keep up with this, I'll be super impressed, but don't feel like you have to.
He's Bryan. He's superhuman.
I know. He is superhuman. So that's there. We've got a new clock animations in the clock app. The auto rotate setting in quick settings pane actually animates when you tap it. Big one there. Swipe up to throw heads up notifications into the tray. So that's actually a pretty cool one, right? Yeah. You could only swipe side to side to dismiss it or just wait for it to disappear. Now you can swipe up and it doesn't disappear entirely. It just goes to your notifications. So that's neat.
I like that.
Hide a dynamic tile in quick settings. I didn't realize that you could, but now apparently you can hide specific tiles in your quick settings and then bring them back again when you go into the full settings and activate them. But that only applies to hotspot and invert color. And these are things that I never would have discovered on my own. So thank you, Android Police. Screen pinning is actually clarified in a more clear way. That's what clarified means, actually. Pin entry for screen pinning is improved. So basically the whole process of pinning a screen on Lollipop is better. The dialer can have different colors assigned to different SIMs. So if you're running a dual SIM device, depending on what SIM you're on, it would be represented as a different color.
That's interesting.
And then finally, as far as this roundup is concerned anyways, priority and the volume setting none also now include a until next alarm function. So you could set it to none and then your alarm would go off, and I believe that means it would be muted.
Yep.
Which
has happened to me.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this happened to me last week. It pissed me off so much.
Oh, really?
I was so pissed. I was ranting about it on Twitter. Because I totally forgot that if you put none, nothing goes on because I just switched to a Nexus 6 and I was using the HTC One beforehand, which isn't on Lollipop yet. And so I just totally forgot about it. And I missed my alarm. I got to work super late. Like my whole day was thrown off. It was just really bad.
Yeah, I did it my first morning at Disney World.
Oh,
when it was
not
all right.
good.
The park opens up at 8 a.m. We're gonna get up at 7, and then we're gonna go and
2 p.m.
Yeah, it was tragic.
A heart attack moment.
I lost a day at Disney World.
Yep, pretty much.
So I wonder if Google hasn't released a changelog for this because it's just not very important for us.
It kind of seems.
Because I feel like, have we seen 5.1 on another device besides Android 1?
No.
Because if we haven't, then maybe 5.1 is just specifically for like 1. And then when we get 5.2, it's going to be
It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Yeah. It's going to be another point.
Well, at this point, all the hype.
There's a lot of bugs to fix.
Yeah.
Okay? We should be getting one soon.
Totally.
Google.
Agreed.
But all the hype around 5.1 now is I'm going to be really disappointed if we skip it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be.
Everybody wants to see it sooner. That's why there's some hype right now. I mean, it's like all the leaks with MWC. Everybody wants to see it.
I think that's exactly what's happening. It's like they're trying to tease us, and then at the last minute, they're like, haha, that version is not for you.
But we're happy to know that you're very excited to find those
changes. And then we'll
changes.
be like,
however,
trolled by Google.
However, there are obviously changes there that people outside of Android 1 would enjoy. So I'd be really surprised if those changes aren't rolled out because that would be a bigger black spot on Google to be like, oh, we did all these things, but you know what? We're not going to give it to you until the next point update.
Really?
I don't think
just the people in the Philippines can have a no sound until their next alarm. We're
only
targeted to the India, Philippines.
Swiping your heads up notification into your notification pane. No one really wants that unless you're in the Philippines. Then you probably want that.
It's huge in the Philippines, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like a party over there.
I know. They get all the good things.
They're all laughing at us.
They get all the good things.
They're all laughing at us right now. They're like, ha, you still can't get it, you crazy Americans.
It's going to come sooner or later.
Yeah.
I got to imagine. So,
yeah.
I agree.
All right, well, moving on. So we talked about this previously in the past, but Samsung acquired LoopPay in LoopPay, say that a couple times fast, in a move that would enable its devices to be used for contactless payments as Samsung gets into the payment world. You can use it with gift cards, loyalty, membership programs, that sort of thing. LoopPay actually tricks normal credit card terminals by using a patented magnetic secure transmission technology that beams data to the terminal and passes it off as a card that has been swiped. Now, clearly,
So
this
weird.
is a direct competitor to Google Wallet and Apple Pay and that sort of thing.
cheating.
But you would imagine that this would cause some friction between Google and Samsung as Google's trying to get Google Wallet rolling and Samsung's trying to do their thing. Florence, you wrote a great article about this. What's going on between these two companies?
Actually, if you go back to Greenbot's front page, one of our writers, Amber Bowman, just recently did a comparison between Pay, the physical card, and Google Wallet. So she actually went out into the real world with the LoopPay technology just to see what it will be like if it comes on Samsung's next device.
That is that's a lot of work. That is a pretty awesome thing to go out there and do, actually.
So I actually assigned the story to her before knowing this was going to happen, and then it did.
Oh, interesting.
So we got super lucky on this.
Wow, no kidding.
Sometimes
I want to toot our horn for that one. But it's really, and she said that LoopPay was accepted at more places than Google Wallet just because the NFC systems would always be down. So the LoopPay card always worked because she could just put it right next to the little, mom and pop stores payment machine, and it would work just fine.
Man, what a hack, right? What an interesting...
It's clever.
Yeah, it's very clever.
What a smart buy on Samsung's part.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why Google, with the problems that they've had with Google Wallet.
They're shaking right now in their bones.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to segue, by the way. I know you're segueing.
Little bit.
But I have something to add here, since it's kind of like a segue within a segue. I'm going to scare everybody. You ready?
I don't know if I'm ready, but go.
Can I squeeze it in here? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have... Okay, it's be more theatrical if I do it this way. I have switched my main phone to... Boom!
For those just listening,
there's a story here.
what is it for those listening? I don't know because I don't have one of those.
Where's the eject button? Where's the eject button?
It's right here. He pressed it. It's a fruity phone.
The iPhone 6 Plus?
6 Plus.
Okay.
So bear with me here. What I was going to get to is that the one thing I love about this phone, absolutely above everything, is Apple Pay. Holy crap, they did it right. I've been using, I'm a huge fan of Square because it's been around forever, and I love the idea that I can just check in real quick on my phone. They charge me, I walk away, done. I've been using PayPal reluctantly. It's a pain in the ass. You have to use a PIN. And so I'm starting to be more and more aware of these payment methods. I've obviously been using the old Google Wallet, the current Google Wallet, which is also very frictionless pay. Right, it's a pain. You just have to tap the NFC, and then most vendors like Walgreens still ask for your PIN or for you to sign. It's ridiculous. After you use this phone with Apple Pay, seriously, there's only one way it can work, and this is the way.
So Apple got it right because the integration is more or less seamless compared to Google Wallet. It sounds, though, like if LoopPay is as effective and far-reaching as it seems like it is,
and that's what I'm excited about.
I want to see it at 90% of places.
That's just why didn't Google buy LoopPay?
I know. But anyway, so the story is that Apple. I went to Cupertino to the camps to hang out with the Apple folks that I know, and they challenged me. They said, we want you to really try, because every year I get an iPhone. I get all the iPhones every year, and I try them out for a while, and I need to know the entire ecosystem. That's why I also use Windows Phone, because I need to know. And they said, we want you to put your own SIM in there and actually really, really take it for a spin, because we really feel that as a hardcore Android user, you will really like it this year.
Well, and there's been a lot of Android users switching over.
They are very wrong. But I have to appreciate a number of things. And if I have to appreciate one thing, is Apple Pay. The camera is absolutely bonkers good on this phone. Better probably than anything else right now out there. It's remarkable. And then, I could go on and on. But back to the payment thing. I really want... I don't like. I get upset now when I go to a store that has the Square register, but they don't have the payment by phone enabled. Like they don't have the
pay with
geolocation.
Square.
And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I have a phone in my pocket right now that I can use to pay you, and you won't let me do it. I have to actually pull out my card, swipe it, and sign on your freaking screen. Like I'm so done with it. I still use
my card though. I still use my card everywhere that I go. But it's also because I am on Verizon, and I haven't, before Google Wallet was blocked because of the ISIS payment, which is now.
We'll talk about that here in a second. Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So Google,
That's a segue.
thank you. Google, Samsung gets Loop Pay, and it sounds like they're doing it right. Like from the experience that your colleague described, it's pretty ubiquitous everywhere, and it's easy and painless. And that to me is what mobile payment should be all about.
Yes,
so now we
agreed.
find out, and this is the total Twilight Zone piece of news, right? You have to understand, Google and Google Wallet, their biggest competitor for years and years and years was the three carriers, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, who were promoting this thing called ISIS, which they had to change the name of for some weird reason.
ISIS.
To what's it called? Soft Card, which is a terrible name because it's kind of like the Japanese carrier, SoftBank, which is close, right? But anyway, they changed it, and it went nowhere because anything backed by the carriers or the banks will never go anywhere. It has to be somebody like Apple that comes in and disrupts. I really was hoping.
Or is it SoftBank or SoftBank?
Yeah, SoftBank.
Sorry,
I was really hoping that Google would be the one that disrupted things back in the days of Wallet, but they failed because, as I said, the user experience is really terrible to use Wallet with a phone and NFC. NFC is a terrible way to do payments. NFC is flawed. Like the only way you can do payments is, the only reason it works with Apple Pay on NFC is because they just kind of like forced some merchants to do it, basically, by their might. But this piece of news is Twilight Zone because all this time, Android, Google Wallet, and Softcard, aka born ISIS, were the competitors, right? And they could never get any space. And then Apple comes along and steals the show, as usual.
Now they're snuggling.
And now they're friends.
Now they're snuggling.
Oh my God. Thank you. All of a sudden, we've got this news here. I'll read a little blurb. Google announced yesterday that it is buying some IP, some intellectual property, offered by Softcard, formerly ISIS, which is a mobile payment app that up until now has been backed by the biggest U.S. carriers. This means that Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T customers will have Google Wallet pre-installed. As a result, not long ago, these carriers were pushing back against Google by not allowing Google Wallet on some devices. Oh, I can't scroll further than that. Anyway, but my point is, to me, this news is really weird. It's so reactionary. It's not even funny.
Well, it's a land grab.
So true. Really reactionary. That's really true.
Yeah. What does everybody think?
I think that it's unfortunate that this news is so close to the Loop Pay news because it makes it seem even more like Google kind of went in the wrong direction, chased the wrong deal. And yeah, man, I wish we lived in a world where an alternate universe, because I really think Loop Pay would have been a much better.
But think about it, though. I mean, like Loop Pay, it seems very interesting, but let's keep in mind that Samsung bought them.
Yeah.
So if it's going to get fumbled, I trust Samsung to fumble it before anybody does. Yeah, exactly. So let's not carry Loop Pay on our shoulders and say it's the winner yet, because we don't know. We haven't seen what Samsung's going to do with it. That said, I've had a wonderful experience with Google Wallet. I don't really have a problem with NFC. I agree with you. Walgreens is a pain in the butt because they make you put in your PIN and all stuff like that. But that's more on Walgreens because Walgreens is an evil entity that just doesn't make you want to.
It's not. It's on Google. You know why? Because Apple. Do you see Apple having different experience from merchant to merchant? No. Apple said, "F you. This is the way it is, and if you don't take it, F you."
I go to 7-Eleven.
That's a really good point. That's why people like the iPhone. That's why people want to use the iPhone, because it's just the same experience for everybody.
Well, I think that consistent experience is important, but it's possible. Like I go to 7-Eleven, and I just tap my phone on the terminal, and it's done, and it works the way it's supposed to. I don't think tapping a phone is that bad. Don't get me wrong. I love the Square's pay with Square, where the phone is in my pocket, and they're just like, "Oh, what's your name?" I say Ron. They go, "Okay, great," and they charge you, and then you don't do anything. That frictionless is awesome, and I hope that Google Wallet goes in that direction somehow.
Yeah.
But and I don't know what Apple did with Walgreens to get that to work, but that entering the PIN, I only happen at Walgreens, and Walgreens is notoriously annoying, and I chalk it up to that.
I agree.
And admittedly, I haven't used Google Wallet at Walgreens in a while because I boycott Walgreens because they're awful, because they lie to you.
Look,
I'm CVS instead. Their stuff is so much better.
Exactly. There's a Target opening up across the street from the Walgreens.
It's not really about NFC, because obviously Apple Pay uses NFC. But what I'm saying is that what I'm kind of hoping, two things will happen. First, that because Apple Pay is becoming so big, a lot more terminals will have NFC.
But it's not becoming so big.
No, it is becoming big.
Look at the last round of numbers.
It is becoming big. There's no doubt about it. It's
the last round of numbers. Google Wallet numbers were double of Apple Pay.
But nobody's using it.
Right.
Look at people
Nobody's
who are
using
actually
either.
using it.
That's the thing.
No, people are using Apple Pay.
The Apple Pay numbers are doing pretty all right.
People are using Apple Pay that you hang out with and that you're in San Francisco with. Let's go to Iowa and see how many people are using Apple Pay.
The people in San Francisco I hang out with use Square, which is even more.
That's true.
So anyway, but the point is, I think, look, if NFC hardware becomes more prevalent on merchant devices in a standardized way like Apple did, I think Google has an opportunity here to leverage that hardware in a way, right? Through the more traditional NFC-based payment that we've seen with Google Wallet. But it needs to be completely frictionless. It needs to be what you described with 7-Eleven.
Yes.
But everywhere. And unfortunately, that's what's put people off from using Google Wallet. Everybody you talk to that's used Google Wallet and has tried is like semi-techie or super techie like we are, will tell you, yeah, Apple Pay is awesome. Google Wallet, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Honestly, that's what's kind of put me off. Like, it was not very long ago that I actually started to think about using Google Wallet on a regular basis. We shop at Whole Foods. They take this, so great. First time I used it, awesome. Second time I tried to use it, didn't work. Third time I tried to use it, didn't work. And at that point, now I don't even think to do it anymore because there's enough doubt.
Correct.
That, and it takes more time for me to try it, realize it doesn't work, and then reach for my credit card and do it. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So now I'm back to using my credit card again, and that's the problem.
You see, this is why I'm sorry. I mean, this is why the praising of Apple Pay is a little tainted. So, admittedly, this is December 20th, and so we haven't seen data newer than this. But it says that, and Bryan, I put the link in the chat room. Apple Pay has grown to 1.7% of all mobile payments, and at the same time, Google Wallet was up to 4% of all mobile payments. So that's that. But if you look at it, the top 3 retailers for Apple Pay were Whole Foods, Walgreens, and McDonald's. Right? And as great as Whole Foods is and as big of a chain it is, that is a very select customer that is going to Whole Foods. You show me the Krogers of the world.
But you're forgetting a big thing.
Yeah.
These become evangelists for the technology.
Sure, no,
These are the snooty Whole Food Apple users.
Yeah.
We know that. We agree to that, right? But they make a huge difference. Their buying power is so huge that they're going to go to Lowe's or they're going to go to whatever and say, hey, why the hell can't I pay with Apple Pay? I'm not shopping here anymore until I can pay with freaking Apple Pay. Make it go. And that's
what is this injustice?
I
How
know.
dare you not have Apple Pay?
No, look, I think the other thing we're completely forgetting, which I think is a really critical part, and I'm really interested to see how LoopPay does this, is the fingerprint reader. It's instant security, right? Like, I mean, you cannot get much better than that. Oh, thanks, Bryan. Forks. We win. Anyway, I'm going to press the button. You ready? There we go.
The implosion
Let's
effect.
move on.
All right.
I don't know how to segue, but hey, let's thank a sponsor. How about that? We'll thank our first sponsor of today's episode. Actually, a new sponsor to the show. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited because I've been sleeping pretty good. And you'll find out here in a second. This episode is brought to you by Casper. Casper is an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the cost. Casper is revolutionizing the mattress industry by cutting the cost of dealing with resellers and showrooms and passing that savings directly on to the consumer. Casper's mattress is an obsessively engineered mattress at a fair price. There's 2 technologies in there, latex and memory foam. It's all about memory foam in mattresses these days, and Casper does it really well. They come together for better nights, brighter days as a result. I can attest to that. I have kids. It's hard to get sleep sometimes, and this is helping. It's a comfortable mattress that has just the right sink, just the right bounce, and it's long lasting and gives you the support that you need. Honestly, I got my Casper mattress, been sleeping on it for a few weeks now.
I'm so jealous.
What's that?
I'm so jealous.
Super comfy. It's firm where it needs to be. A bit softer on the top. Honestly, I've had the same mattress for like 12 years, and my wife and I are just kind of like, this is a great mattress. I don't know if we need a different one. And then we pop this on there, and we're like, okay, yeah, we did.
Well, apparently, it was informed to me that you were supposed to change your mattress every 7 years, and the mattress I'm currently sleeping on.
Oh no!
I bought in 1999, so I'm due.
It's time, Rod.
Yeah.
It's time. We'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
And by the way, just a little side note for parents out there: Casper ships in this gigantic box, right? And so ever since then, my kids Every single night they want to play roller coaster in the box. So, I mean, it's huge. I can fit in the box. That's how big it is. And I'm 6'8" dude, and I fit in the box. So, a little side bonus there. Probably not intended by Casper, but still very cool. You can buy it very easily. They're selling it online. It's completely risk-free. Casper understands the importance of trying out a mattress. You try sleeping on a Casper mattress today. They offer free delivery and painless returns within a 100-day period. So you don't have to lie down in a showroom. You're doing this at home. And, that's where the real decision should be made.
Eat your mac and cheese and your burritos in bed. You can really test it out.
I suppose you could. I mean, they don't say that you can't eat burritos in bed. I don't know if I'd eat a burrito in bed. We actually have a
free
rule.
country.
Yeah, do what you want in bed.
It's all about the burritos, I'm telling you.
Casper says statistically, lying on a bed in a showroom has no correlation to whether it's the right bed for you. You get that instant reaction. That's about all that it is. Casper's mattresses are made in the USA. So here's what you should do here. Get a Casper mattress, $500 for a twin, $950 for a king size. Compared to industry averages, that's an outstanding price. You can save an additional $50 as one of our audience members by going to casper.com/Android and enter the promo code Android. Easy to remember. That's casper.com/Android, promo code Android. And we thank Casper for their support.
The prices are like, when I was having that conversation about the mattress, a friend of mine was like, oh yeah, no, I got a brand new mattress. It's fantastic. I'm like, how much you spend? He's like, oh, like $2,500. I was like, geez.
Mattresses can be pretty nice.
And I have a queen frame, and so that's only like $850 or something like that. You knock the $50 off, it's $800. That's and I was dubious because I've heard things about the memory foam. I've heard criticisms.
Just in general. Memory foam's great.
Specific uses that weren't so good.
I like memory foam.
But apparently, from some of the reviews I read and watched on YouTube, the combination of the memory foam and the latex make it good for everything you need. So I'll leave it at that. So,
it's cozy.
Eating burritos in bed.
Exactly.
Even you can eat burritos in bed. Never done that before, but I'm sure it's glorious.
Like, I don't even own one, and I'm psyched about this. Psyched about this mattress. I'm like, totally.
All right, thank you, Casper, for your support. All right, speaking of an entirely different type of hardware, let's go to hardware.
Just got the firmware joke you made about the mattress. Anyway, so with the excitement leading up before Mobile World Congress and ahead of Sunday's big announcement, we're starting to see some solid, reputable images of the upcoming of the Samsung Galaxy S6.
Definitely this, because this was
a little 6 appeal.
Well, I think they do this every year.
Yeah, they do.
Like, they're purpose leaks.
Yeah. Leak them out a little bit.
Yeah, both T-Mobile and AT&T.
Partnership leaks.
Right.
Yeah. Both T-Mobile and AT&T have both posted the promo image that plays off the 6 appeal look, showing a curved curved display a la the Note Edge. Word is the phone will have both the curved display on both sides of the screen and not just one. Also, dark gray metal on the back. And Samsung has they released a 45-second teaser video for the S6 as well, which if Brian has, we can take a look at that.
That's the next one. Yeah. There you go. Should we watch?
That's 45 seconds.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, look at this curve.
Will flow.
The flow.
Yeah, this video is filled with many
will be powerful.
little comments that could apply to a phone or something else.
What is that?
It seems very Verizon-y.
This has nothing to do with a phone.
This has everything to do with the flow.
Reflections will be free.
Reflections will be free. Is that? I don't even know what that means.
Wow.
They're playing up the colors.
It has veins.
I feel like I took something before the show.
Yeah.
This will change your life, whatever this is.
Excellent.
So
the next Galaxy.
Okay, so the next Galaxy S in the series, metal frame is what we're regularly hearing here. Metal body.
I mean, they've done the Alpha and the Note 4, and they better do. If they, I will yell.
I think it's pretty certain at this point from what we're seeing that it's not plastic. But hey, anything's possible. And then a curved edge on both sides of the screen.
That's just 2 versions, though.
What's that?
There's supposedly 2 versions.
Yeah, I've heard.
I have a
heard
hard time.
I've heard that there is.
Them,
I don't know.
In terms of manufacturing cost, justifying for the mainstream carriers in the U.S. in particular, who are so cost sensitive, right? They always give us 2 gigs of RAM instead of 3 and stuff. How they can justify?
I don't know if there will be 2 versions.
But we've seen really good renders of from case makers of a GS6 that has no edges. I mean, no borderless.
No,
Yeah.
right.
What do you think, Florence? Two versions?
I was not thinking. I just had a brain fart. I'm so sorry.
You're like, I'm not thinking.
Well,
You're thinking about eating burritos in bed. Two versions.
I'm so sorry. No, I was thinking of, actually, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Galaxy Note Edge and how much I hated it, which I actually wrote like a big rant about it. And I'm just praying to the smartphone gods that it's nothing like that.
Is that because you think the edge around the side is just a bad idea, period? Or was
it was just a really bad idea.
Okay.
Really bad implementation. Phone is way too freaking big for that thing. So, and plus, like, Samsung has a lot to prove at MWC. So...
I think they do have a lot to prove. This is one of the first times on a Galaxy pre-release basis that I'm actually pretty darn excited about what they have to show off.
You know, you're all going to be disappointed by the software, right?
Well, right. We've been down this road
less,
before. Yeah.
possibly less so. I mean, from what we're hearing, also, it's that they're really peeling back.
You guys all know that, and I'm getting us in the mood for the next thing. You guys all know that the silver and gold M9 is just going to win your heart way more than the Galaxy S6. As a fangirl of HTC, I can tell you right now it's the better phone.
Well, the thing is that when Samsung announces the Microsoft partnership and now you can get all the Microsoft apps on Samsung.
Wait, you can get OneDrive already.
Like just think of how beaten the Samsung customer is that they're excited to have Microsoft products on their phone.
Does anybody get excited about Microsoft? I just threw a huge fit because we just... left Google Docs for Office 365, and now I have to like change all the freaking apps on my phone. I'm really pissed about that.
Ooh, that's
Microsoft
painful.
every day they're making another announcement. They just updated the OneDrive API today, and like with some interest, like they're doing some.
You're gonna hate the app I'm gonna review later.
No, we'll see about that. It's actually a pretty nice app, I thought. Okay, so HTC then. This is the other major kind of announcement that we're expecting, and we're, it's getting leaky ahead of some.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
my Twitter feed would not shut up today about this freaking phone. We get it. It's coming out.
Yep.
Can everybody just please wait a couple more days?
No,
please?
no, you can't. That's not how Android works.
No, you realize that right now HTC is having its top secret conference with all the big bloggers in Barcelona, right? Showing them the M9 as we speak, starting today.
Wow, you've got the inside scoop. Well, The Verge has for all of us, nobodies.
Were they on The Verge?
It's kind of. We don't know. They're on the verge. They're on the verge of something. I don't know if this is real or fake.
The thing about The Verge is that they're always on the verge of something.
Yeah, that's why they called it The Verge. Thank you for the very end of that instant rim shot there.
It didn't deserve a full rim shot.
I completely
half
agree.
a rim shot.
Half
there
shot.
We go. Yeah.
The Verge has a bunch of rendered stills, as you see here.
It's gorgeous. Look at it. This is so much better than a Galaxy S6 right now. I'm telling you.
Is it much different
look
from
at
the M8?
Oh, it's so good.
But is it
I haven't
reflectionless?
even seen the Galaxy
It's so
S6
good.
yet. How would you know?
It is so good. Because I'm an HTC fangirl. This is a well-known fact, Florence. You got to get with the program. If it's an
just
HTC phone,
actually
I
learned
start
this.
drooling. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. No, it's not nice and gray. I want it in silver and gold. Go back.
The black looks pretty nice.
Oh,
That's not too
look
bad.
at that.
The
Look
silver
at
and gold. Silver and gold. We also have some leaked. Oh, nice push in on that.
Look how it only has one camera on the back.
Yeah,
One
finally,
single
it's
lens.
back to reality.
That's good.
So you realize what's going to happen here, right? It's supposedly a 20 megapixel camera, and it's probably not going to have OIS because they want to vex me. Watch it happen.
They want to put one thing in there that just spoils it for
guaranteed, because that's what HTC does. Every year they get me super excited like I was just 5 seconds ago, and then I go like, and then
They all
at
do.
the end of the
There's
day,
no such thing as a perfect device.
At the end of the
they
day,
always
HTC
put in.
is a harsh lover. That's what Myriam's saying.
Exactly.
True.
And I'm glad for punishment is what I'm saying. And so as a result,
Little
Galaxy
50 Shades of Grey going on with HTC here.
Exactly. So Galaxy S6 is really what I'm probably going to end up with ultimately,
We'll
like
see.
everyone else.
But wait, what about all the other manufacturers?
Well, wait, you're using an iPhone. Why would you?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, come on, you've already chosen.
No, this is a temporary thing. Don't tell
It's
anyone,
temporary.
Ron.
Okay. All right. We do have some leaked promo videos. We don't have to play them all, but we should probably play the first one, which is, first of all, eagle-eyed video watchers will notice is presented in portrait, not landscape.
I watched this morning.
But Myriam made a good point prior to the show that that's probably. Oh, they took it down.
They took it down.
Whoa.
Yeah, Well, there was one that got uploaded later that somebody stitched together all those, and it's on Droid Life.
They're
Okay.
all down.
Because I watched it.
This one was working like an hour ago.
So the vertical one, I think, is just because it's like a banner ad on the side of a website or
that makes
something.
sense. Or something like
Or
that.
Snapchat.
Snapchat, that's not a bad. I was thinking it was like when you get a brand new device and you boot it up for the first time and it does it's like HTC 1.9, but it's like 2 minutes
do that
long.
again.
So
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, so I was thinking maybe it was like that because you're watching it on the phone. You're not gonna. Like, go
So
ahead.
Apple, since I've been with them for a few days now,
Yeah.
they would make you turn the phone the proper way to watch the video. See, they condition their users. Wait a minute, actually they don't because a lot of people.
Oh, it's back.
There we go.
There we
Thank
go.
you. A lot of
Good
people
catch.
that use
Oh my God,
phones.
stop shooting it like that. You're so stupid.
I know vertical video is wrong. It
Yeah.
should be banned.
So this is okay. So basically, there were 3 videos. There was one that's like a promo video for all the features of the phone. That one was shot in vertical.
But why is he taking a group photo with his girlfriend and some other unknowns?
That was the creepiest photo I've ever seen, by the way, actually. Did you see them all just like slowly step into frame?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like-
It's a little unnatural.
that was like,
We're all
it was
here
really
for
like,
you.
like
We're all here for
they
you.
just all.
Let us eat your brains. Basically.
So the interesting thing is the rumors are that it's Snapdragon 810, 3 gigs of RAM, all that. But the ultra pixel camera is on the front, like on the Desire 826, which is kind of what they've been doing lately, is putting the ultra pixel 4 megapixel in the front, so you get nice selfies in low light, which is 99% of selfies are taken in horrible
absolutely.
conditions.
It's very true. We take them in my bedroom.
It's like the zombie apocalypse. You're running and you're trying to document it as a selfie, and you need a camera that can handle it.
Wait a minute. What was that, Florence?
You're taking selfies in the bedroom. You're like.
No, I said the zombie apocalypse.
To
You're
get
running
ready.
from the zombies. What are you guys talking about?
I don't know where to go here. No, I think that's perfect. Front-facing camera, you want the low light performance, and the ultra pixel thing. I think they expected to be more of a crowd favorite on the rear-facing camera, and it didn't kind of end up that way. But it actually makes perfect sense for it to be on the front-facing camera.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was not a good idea to put it on the back on the 1M8.
I was okay with the ultra pixels on the M7 because it had OIS, but when they went to the Duo and removed the OIS, I was angry.
OIS is
still angry.
Something that a lot of people want. I haven't had one on my devices, I don't think. But hey, let's talk about a device that actually exists,
Speaking
because we
of
have it
OIS,
here, both in studio and on Skype.
And Florence, you've reviewed this too. Can we have the close-up cam? Close-up cam. Oh, there we go. Okay. So
wait.
So this is the phone that I reviewed for Before You Buy last week under embargo. We had to actually delay it Before You Buy and put it up the day after. As you can see, yes, you're not on drugs right now. This is a curved screen and a curved phone. This is the G Flex 2. It is the successor to. I'm not going to show you my email. Hang on. This is a bad idea. Seriously. Hang on. Anyway.
Here, hang on. Let's pull up Google Maps. I'll show you where my apartment is.
There we go. Okay. So. There is the beautiful, so it's a AMOLED curved. It's a curved plastic substrate AMOLED. So when I say plastic, the front glass is actually still glass. It's a Gorilla Glass that they've specially hardened. And the idea is that if the phone falls flat on its face like that onto a surface, these edges here will take all the stresses, the top and bottom edges. So it'll spread into the phone.
They never fall on their faces. They always fall on their sides.
Exactly. So, but the point is. The point is that it's an interesting idea, and from a point of view of physics, it's quite possible and it makes sense.
It makes sense in my case. I'll tell you for certain, my Nexus 6 fell squarely.
It's a gimmick, I think, potentially, but I do think there is some truth to it.
Yeah.
So when we say curve, it's the plastic on which the OLED is layered is plastic, and it's flexible, and it's under a piece of glass, and it's a 1080p display, and it's AMOLED, but much nicer, right, Florence, than last year's G Flex?
Oh God, the last year's was horrid.
It was terrible.
And, like the PPI was only like 250 or something. This one is a much higher.
There are still some issues. Let me show you. If I go here in the multitask screen, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but you can see some blotches
Yes.
And
did you notice the color fade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
and
some blotches still. So there's still some issues with this. But it's so much better than last year. So just to back up a bit, the G Flex last year was a 6-inch phone with a 720p display, which is a kind of a low DPI. And it had mid-range. I had a Snapdragon 800, but everything else about it was kind of mid-range. Compared to the G2, it didn't have image stabilization. I mean, it was missing a bunch of stuff. This thing, in my opinion, is better than the G3 in many ways. The only thing you give up is the Quad HD display at the same size, 5.5 inches. Instead, you get 1080p. But frankly, the Quad HD on the G3 is not one of the best Quad HDs. It's a nice display, but it's not.
And it eats up the battery.
Right, and it eats up the battery. But this also has a Snapdragon 810, which is the latest and greatest from Qualcomm. So in that sense, it's better than the G3. Also, the camera has the same camera module as the G3 with the same laser autofocus. If we can close up on the phone again, I'll quickly show you guys. So the laser autofocus window here, dual color, dual LED flash here, 13 megapixel camera modules, OIS. It's slightly improved in terms of OIS speed and autofocus speed apparently compared to the S3, but I think they're using the same hardware. The battery cover is removable, but the battery is locked in. It's 3,000 milliamp hour. And you have a micro SIM, which is great. Those of us who hate nano SIMs, I'm sure many of you do, are like relieved right now. And micro SD as well. So this particular device is a Korean unit. It has 32 gigs of built-in storage. Most likely the US version will have 16, but you'll have micro SD. And this has 3 gigs of RAM. The US version is probably also only going to have 2 gigs. So this is Korean. It's got all the best, basically. I put the Google Now launcher on here because I like to Nexusize. Nexusize? Is that a word?
Nexusize.
Yeah.
It should be.
Nexusize. There's
I like to Nexusize my devices, including the keyboard. So you can see the keyboard here, Nexus keyboard. But I tell you what, I'm going to actually use this as my daily driver in Mobile Congress. Because the iPhone is going to keep my SIM, my own personal SIM.
Okay.
The only agreement I made with Apple was that I was going to use my own SIM in my phone. But I've got T-Mobile. I have data roaming on my phone, but I'm going to use it basically.
So lucky.
I'm going to basically use it for text messaging my spouse and stuff, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to use it as my primary device at MWC. So I think I'm going to make this guy. I'm going to get a Vodafone Spain SIM and put it in here.
So at this point, okay, I'll ask both of you this. So at this point, if someone walks up to you and says, LG G Flex 2, should I get it? Myriam, what do you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's the best phone LG makes, bar none. Just get it.
Florence, what do you think?
Yes.
There you go. A pensive yes.
I'm not sure that I'm convinced.
Yes. you thought really hard.
Because Myriam changed the interface, but...
I don't want to show that...
I don't like the... it used to be called Optimus UI. I don't know what they call it anymore. Okay. But so this is just really busy because I put all my stuff on it. But like,
it's terrible.
It's their rendition of Lollipop is just so like it's just it's just really busy. I think it's just because this is the Korean variant of the phone, but it just wasn't. I just didn't.
If you do a close up, even though when you skin it, you still get the stupid system tray like
yes, of course.
But
then you go into here. Yeah, it's terrible. So the thing is, if you skin it, you're good. Also, it is Lollipop out of the box. It's the first LG phone.
I mean, and this is kind of the beauty of what Google's been doing lately of releasing their Google Now launcher as a breakout app and all that kind of stuff. Is that a lot of these pieces you can go ahead and go Google's route, but you're not going to be able to replace all of it. Maybe in some magical world you will be able to. The notification tray and all that other stuff will be replaceable at some point, but right now it's not.
I think
still, that gets you closer. Yes.
If I may bring up something, that actually kind of bothers me because it shouldn't have to be up to a person who isn't as techie as we are to have to install these different launchers and, spend a whole day customizing their device. Sure. My problem with what LG did with its UI is that it spent so much time refining it for KitKat. Last year when it brought out the G3, and then to be one of the first companies to have Lollipop out of the door, it just rushed this thing. The app icons do not match Google's app icons, the material design ones. It's just, that's not okay. I would rather wait a little bit longer for you to put together this really nice package for me as a consumer.
Florence is absolutely right. This is like a nightmare in terms of consistency in UI. So if you change it like I did, it's great. I have a few things I don't like. The fact that the battery isn't replaceable potentially is a bad thing. please, LG, make us some metal phones finally. Like, you know, this has this. I know they can make them. I mean, I really am a huge fan of LG phones. They make phenomenal devices, right?
Yeah.
And the Nexus 5 is a good example. The G3, the G2, this. But you know, this has supposedly some kind of like self-healing plastic. It heals tiny scratches, like the kinds you get when you do this on the table, you know. But it doesn't. It doesn't fix like big scratches, obviously.
Right.
But I don't care about that. What I want is metal. I want like beautiful aluminum and steel. And
industrial
design.
Yes.
Exactly. Like gold and silver. Silver and gold.
Then I know what you need. You need the Samsung Galaxy S6.
There it is.
That's about to come out.
Yeah, but it's not an LG phone.
All right, you're right. Okay.
But the other thing, just quickly, so no metal and the UI issues and the not swappable battery and the fact that yes, you get less resolution than the G3, but everything else about this is delightful. The camera is really, really nice. Again, the problem with LG camera apps lately is that their hardware is fantastic, but their camera apps don't let you do even simple things like ISO and exposure levels. So if you install FV5, an app that I reviewed a while back, boom, that's problem solved. Right. So just keep that in mind. You know, again, it requires you to customize, which I really hate about. And everything should be a Nexus. Call it a day.
Yeah.
And then you can have third-party launchers and from other companies that you can install manually.
But that's not the Android world we live in.
Well, I like HTC Sense.
I like Sense, yeah.
I like it a lot. I think it's a really.
But I like everything about HTC.
I've gathered that in this episode.
No, but I'm actually being silly and like really pushing it to the extreme.
Before we get to our next sponsor,
we got a little hardware update.
A different type of hardware, Bryan.
Oh boy, that
Jeff Kosmicki come through. No. We need to cross. Nice. Oh yes.
Yes.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, let me see that again.
We didn't even ask for that one, and he made it.
Oh,
he's like,
wow. Jeff Kosmicki makes my dreams come true. Look at that.
I know.
Oh. Yay, hardware. All right, cool. So now I'm all excited.
I know. He changed the spelling. By the way, for audio listeners, he changed the spelling.
Yes.
Live in real time of hardware to hard, WEAR.
And it very easily finds how easy it is to amuse me.
Yes, so it doesn't take much.
I just like a little motion graphics.
I just got that.
Yep,
oh my goodness, look at that. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Sorry, I totally spaced out. I was not even understanding what was happening.
It's easy to miss.
There it is.
Believe me.
Hardware.
I'm sorry, guys. I've had a really long week and it's only Tuesday.
You don't need to apologize.
Well, anyway, so speaking of hardware, in terms of all things Android Wear, a couple of interesting news bites related to wearables. First off, those of you who have Android Wear watches, I noticed last night we got a system update, version 5.0.2 installed on my watch last night. Don't know what it did, but apparently it does some minor bug squashing, particularly if you're a Google Fit user. I am a Google Fit user, and I have not noticed any bugs, but I trust Google that they're fixing it. So
yeah, apparently there's some big...
It's not 5.1.
Yeah, well, no, it's 5.02. Yeah, they're 5.0.2.
Do y'all use your Android Wear watches anymore? My Moto 360 is kind of collecting dust upstairs. It's also because I've been switching phones an absurd amount of time. I've switched a lot of phones.
I feel weird when I'm not wearing it. It's gotten to that point.
I'm wearing my Pebble today.
We're going to get to that
for obvious reasons.
We're going to get to that in a moment.
That you're wearing, by the way.
But the band, I love this band. It's the white latex. Yeah. But I'm wearing my 360. I alternate between the two.
Yep.
Right now, I have to wear my Pebble because I'm on an iPhone 6. Remember?
I would right, exactly. Well, actually, interesting segue because there was an Android developer who was able to get the Moto 360 to work with an iPhone 6 by taking advantage of the Apple Notification Center API, similar to how Pebble did the same way for its Wear syncing.
That was your segue.
So yeah,
that's good.
Here we have a YouTube video of a.
Why is he shooting it like that in vertical mode?
Vertical video,
around, dude.
Oh man, seriously.
So there it is, direct notification from iOS. So proof that it works, and then finally, as we mentioned, you might have seen if you were on social media today or anything, you might have noticed that Pebble returned to Kickstarter.
But I'm sure no one has anything to say about Pebble.
Nobody has any opinions at all about Pebble.
Well, for those who missed it, they launched their new Pebble. Was it the Pebble Time, the new watch? Correct. And they met their goal of $500,000 in 19 minutes. They raised $1 million within the first hour, and now at the time of recording, now they've got 33,766 backers and have raised over $7 million for this new watch.
And I think they're well on their way to beat their previous record and possibly beat the Cooler, which is 10 million and a bit, right?
Yeah.
So
is that the Kickstarter record?
Yeah,
period?
yeah. I think just verify.
Day one, it's 7 million.
Oh,
day one. There's still 30 days to go.
Yeah, and I think they'll have no problem reaching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, I knew a lot about this product, most of it. I also knew it was going to be a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I had to be very, very biting my tongue for months here.
Imagine.
It was really hard. But I want to congratulate the Pebble team for finally launching this. Congrats, well done. But I still feel very weird about this Kickstarter thing. I didn't really think it was a good idea when I originally heard about it.
I thought their reasoning was interesting because they said they wanted to return that Kickstarter helped launch the company and helped launch Pebble, and they said let's go back to the community that helped us get started and get. So the way I was reading it, this is almost like a pre-sale just to Kickstarter users.
Yeah, and I think like what I find weird about it myself is not. So, I mean, it's obviously working, right? Look at it, 7 million. But it seems so amateurish for a company that's, playing with in the big leagues now, and to me, returning to the roots is not really, this is not how I would do it. Like, I think, I don't know. I think that I like the, it seems a little childish. I think that.
However, a lot of people are supporting there in this pursuit.
I think they were scared. I think they were scared to go all out and just go on Amazon and say, "Hey, look, we have a new color watch. Buy it." I think this was their validation that they still have a product that is going to sell among all these other contenders.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't think they would ever have any issue selling their new product because it's pretty awesome.
that's what I wonder. That's what I wonder.
Also, their tagline is like, "It's Pebble now in color." Like it's 1975. Everyone has color TVs now. I don't know. It just.
But it's color e-ink, which is different than color LCD display.
Color e-paper.
Color e-paper. E-paper.
Mirasol is color e-ink. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a neat. I don't know. I didn't get the sense that they were desperate or scared or anything like that. I just got it seemed like this is what started them. They're going to go back to it and it's a way to kind of, still participate. And crowdfunding isn't going anywhere. I mean, I agree. I have the same reservations about crowdfunding.
But the thing is, they don't need the money. This is purely a marketing play. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I'm assuming they don't need the money. Yeah. But I think that that's kind of what I find weird about it. Is like
more and more we're seeing Kickstarter used as a marketing vehicle as opposed to
it is clearly successful.
What it was created to be.
Clearly been successful. It's all day today. Yeah. But I'm just finding it a bit odd. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you think of the idea, it's for projects that need funding, that can't go out and meet investors and can't get VC capital or whatever. But there's people have money they want to spend. Nothing's stopping it. Yeah.
But you know what? I don't write about Kickstarters a lot of the time because there really is no point. I'm not going to write about vaporware or something that doesn't really exist yet. So they could have risked people not writing about this just because it still doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, but you can't ignore 7 million in less than 12.
No, you can't.
That's an even bigger.
It's good press for them.
You can, but the reality, if you look at the numbers roughly, they did about the same in one day of sales on the Pebble Steel at CES the year before.
Yeah.
When I launched it at CES for them, I was about the same. Yeah. So, it's like strange to me that you would kind of like, think about the relationships with the big manufacturers, the big retailers. They're going to be like, wait a minute, we could have an opportunity to be the first ones to sell this, and now you're putting it on Kickstarter.
Right,
it's a bit weird,
Yeah.
But hey, we're talking about it, so
we'll talk about anything.
I have to tell you though, having obviously seen it, it's really great, and I think
seen it in person.
I think there's been a lot of moaning and groaning. It doesn't look that great. It looks kind of. I think that the contrasting the ones that are lighter colors with the contrasting metal rim are the really hot. There's a white one I think on their Kickstarter. You'll see it. Are really the hot ones, and it looks really, really delightful. It's so thin in person. You'll be amazed.
It does look pretty thin in the photos, and then you see that, and then you hear. They say 7 days of battery, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
And that's the other thing, 7 days of battery.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty big deal when it comes to
Look how thin it is right there.
Yeah, it's super thin this time. Yeah.
Yep. Certainly thinner than the 360.
Yeah.
And I will give them credit that the new view, the timeline view, It's a less of an app-centric interface and more of a time, like all the apps feed into this timeline on the watch, and you go through either stuff that has already happened or stuff that's happening now or stuff that's about to happen.
Yep.
That's an interesting innovation. I'm curious to see that work, because that's
right.
Every wearable seems to be taking the same kind of app-based approach.
It actually reminds me of the timeline approach of Google Glass, which was, it was a horizontal layout as opposed to a vertical layout, but it was a similar thing. It's like everything over here is in the past, this is present, and these are your notifications, which, I don't know if that represents the future or not. I guess it could.
I don't know if I like cycling through with those buttons, though, when we were watching that little demo. Just, Android Wear, you just flick up, and you can't do that on that, from what I see.
Yeah, it's not a touch.
I've never actually used the Pebble, by the way.
There's no touch screen on it. Yeah. It's all button driven. Mm-hmm. The idea is that, buttons work underwater since the watch is waterproof. Also, button gives you tactile feedback and muscle memory. So if you know exactly where the button is, you don't have to look at it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You can be driving and push the right button right away without having to hit some kind of XY target.
And
the Tesla interface is like really dangerous because of...
It's a huge...
there's no muscle memory involved with having
the only thing that redeems the Tesla is that the touch targets are so gigantic that you generally don't miss them, right? But on a watch with a screen that's like 1.3 inches across.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's the Pebble on their way to make serious dollar bills. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by PagerDuty. I want to thank PagerDuty for sponsoring today's episode. It's an operations performance platform, and PagerDuty delivers visibility and actionable intelligence to help increase the uptime of your apps, your servers, websites, your databases. If you rely on your software and services to always be up, PagerDuty is an essential tool. As the hub of your operations, PagerDuty connects all of your systems into a single view where you can see critical events across all of your monitoring tools. There are over 100 ready-to-use integrations, including Nagios, New Relic, Keynote, App Dynamics, or you can roll your own if you want to with PagerDuty's APIs. You can decrease your resolution time. PagerDuty actually notifies the right team member based upon on-call schedules and personalized alerting preferences. If those alerts are missed, PagerDuty will automatically escalate those issues to another team member until it's responded to. You can dispatch alerts by automated phone calls, SMS, email, push notifications. You can resolve incidents on the go, so you can, live your life even when you're on call. You can decrease the noise. It's kind of part of what this is all about. Incidents are automatically filtered and deduplicated to ensure only actionable alerts are delivered. PagerDuty's analytics tools will also identify common problems, allowing you to proactively make system improvements to prevent future outages. And PagerDuty is relentless when it comes to reliability, fully distributed across multiple data centers and multiple hosting providers. There are also multiple contact method providers for method, so you never miss an alert. You can customize it to fit how you and your team work, regardless of your location or of your size. And PagerDuty is trusted by thousands of companies that you've heard of, that you know of, including Microsoft, GitHub, Boeing, Nike, Pinterest, and Box. So here's what you can do. Get the right engineer on the right problem at the right time. Visit pagerduty.com/twit to sign up for a free 14-day trial. And for as little as $19 a month, you can increase your uptime with PagerDuty. And when you sign up for a new account, you'll also get a free t-shirt. Check that out. It's pagerduty.com/twit. We thank PagerDuty for their continued support of All About Android. Those
guys work in my building, by the way.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, we're in the same building.
Oh, awesome.
Small world.
They're on the first floor.
Oh. It's a small Bay Area after all.
Because a lot of that IDG, we've been there for like 20 years, and now we have all these startups moving into the building. So it's just like, the demographic gets younger and younger.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Every month goes by.
That's awesome. Right on. Check it out, pagerduty.com/twit. All right, just a couple of things in the app section, but they're pretty cool things. Let's go. All right. I thought this is pretty cool, though it hasn't been totally effective in my household yet. But as anyone who watches the show probably knows by now, I have kids. And Google released a new YouTube app aimed at kids called
YouTube Kids.
Yeah. Hey, good name.
I knew this was coming since last November.
Oh, really?
But I couldn't say it because a friend of mine was at a conference and was sitting behind two people who worked at YouTube working on documents related to this. And he was just sitting, just like taking pictures of the
Do I leak it? Do I not?
Exactly.
Do I leak it? Do I not?
So I'm glad to see this finally came out because I've been sitting on it since like November.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So do I have it here? It might take me a second to get to it because I think I have it on the profile that I have for my daughter. So let me switch over here real quick and then I can show it off. But basically, it's a front end for YouTube that is designed for, little fingers, little kids. Has kind of music and splashy things. It doesn't look anything like YouTube, except for the fact that there are, large thumbnails once it gets all loaded up here of videos and everything. It's kind of like an endless scrolling deal. You've got shows, you've got music.
It's like CuteTube.
Yeah, it really is. Learning.
You should patent that.
I should.
CuteTube. You can go into the grown-ups only section, which doesn't really apply because it spells out the numbers you're supposed to do, 4219 in this case. It's different every time. Any kid that knows how to read will know how to get into the grown-up section.
What was that?
Yeah, so there's that. There's a timer that allows you to set a timer for, I only want my child to watch for 30 minutes, so I'll do that, and bang, it'll actually disable the app after that fact. It doesn't do anything to the rest of the experience, though. That's one of my problems with it is, okay, so they either don't like this app or they run out of time. Just go home and hey, where's my YouTube app? Cool, there it is, and launch it. But there are ways around that. Like you could pin this app in Lollipop, and that
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, so you could do that. I don't know if that's the perfect solution for every single parent out there because half of them aren't going to know that you can do that. You know what I mean? There's, that's not working. You can't watch any video, apparently, with YouTube Kids. I know that you can because we watched plenty. I gave it to my daughter the morning that it launched, and she, because sometimes she wakes up and she wants to watch cartoons. Sometimes she wakes up and she says, I want to watch YouTube. This is the world we live in nowadays. So I gave her my phone with this on it, and she's like, what is this? And I said, oh, it's YouTube. She's like, where's the real YouTube app?
What is this?
And
what is this?
Yes, exactly.
Clever child.
I'm like, dang it, she knows too much.
Well, the next one, the younger one can learn this one. There you go.
Unfortunately, the younger one learns a lot from the older one. So, so I think it's a good start. I think there are definitely things to improve with it, but it's a good start. I don't know. It almost feels like it's perfect for 3 to 5, which is a very narrow window. And then beyond that, they're just too smart for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beyond that, they want an iPhone.
Yeah.
Mommy, everybody at school has an iPhone. Can you get me one too?
I realize I'm a kindergartner, but everybody has a phone at kindergarten. That's where we're headed, and it's depressing, but it's true. So there we go.
So what else come from Google?
What else came from Google?
What else came from Google? I have to catch up here, sorry.
That's all right.
Didn't scroll properly. What came from Google was an imminent launch of Inbox for Google Apps. Google Apps users, as you know, for example, when I was at Engadget, we used Google Apps, and at Pebble, we use Google Apps. Mm-hmm. And so if you are in an organization that uses Google Apps at its back end for Gmail and Calendar and all the good stuff, until now, you couldn't really do Inbox. So this solves that. New update to Google Inbox brings support for tablets, as well as desktop support in Firefox and Safari. And finally, because, Inbox only worked on Google Chrome on the desktop. So
no, it was only for personal accounts, and this
only for personal.
Yeah, and so basically, if you were using Google Apps for business, you couldn't get Inbox. It just wasn't even. You couldn't request it. It wasn't enabled. Yeah. What they've done now is they've allowed organization administrators can go fill out a form.
That's right. A certain number of organizations are actually doing it now.
As my company's one of the administrators on our email, I went to this form as quickly as possible and filled it out and said, please, because I've been dying to use Inbox for my work email, and so hopefully we'll get through.
Me too.
Yeah. So apparently,
very useful
apparently they're going to start adding people. I think in a week or so they're going to start, and you have to agree to participate in product feedback and things like that, which I had no problem with Google. So please give me the thumbs up. But yeah, so it's them expanding it out to businesses as well.
And so Sundar is the one. Sundar Pichai.
Did Sundar have something to say?
Yes. He said, "What would Sundar say?"
I'll just read the quotes.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. He said, Inbox by Gmail coming to more places, rolling out to apps, customers imminently.
All right, thank you, Sundar. I actually have to update that.
Because he's got a beard now.
Yeah, he has a beard now, and he has a new photo that's much higher res than that.
This has been going on for a while.
Oh, we do this.
That.
Yeah.
So we have Sundar
I
on.
had no idea. That was a stick.
We have Sundar on all the time. It's just,
Anyway.
it's just a thing.
So yeah, inbox support no longer just for regular Gmail users, but app users coming, and also support for web desktop browsers other than Chrome.
Yes, and that's a good deal.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, that is big. So.
There you go.
Awesome. Can't wait. Can't come soon enough. All right. Before we get to the arena of today's episode, let's thank our final sponsor, and that would be Prosper. Sharing economy is changing the world. We talk about it all the time on our shows on Twit. Like this podcast, the future of how we do business will be connecting people directly to the services they want and the services that they need. It's peer-to-peer. It's what we're talking about all the time. Instant message, BitTorrent, heck, even Skype is peer-to-peer technology underneath. Well, Prosper is changing, the way you do this with money, how we borrow money, and it's super powerful. Prosper's online marketplace connects people who need money with people who have money to invest, so they can offer low rates without the high fees of a traditional loan. With Prosper.com, you can borrow up to $35,000 to pay off high-rate credit cards. You can fix up the house, plan a vacation, just about anything you need. I think fix up the house is what I still plan on doing at some point. New fence, someday. To check your rate instantly without affecting your good credit, go to prosper.com/twit. And right now, Prosper is offering Twit viewers a $50 Visa gift card when you get a loan. You can get up to $35,000 in just 5 days. Just go to prosper.com/twit for this special offer just for Twit viewers. And we thank Prosper for their continued support of All About Android and the Twit network. Thank you, Prosper. All right. Are we ready? It's time for the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
Last week was episode 201, and feeling kind of good.
Oh, I blew it. I like this is like an epic fail. This one, I thought it would go over much better.
I'm not sure I expected this, but wow, Speakerphone X, which was my app.
Wow,
69% of the votes. Boom. People want to be able to have automatic switch over to speakerphone, I guess. Wow. I do, and I've used it all week, and I'm loving it. Yeah. Let's see here. Pro Capture, 13%, tied with Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi, depending on who you ask. Sync at 13%, and then Instagram for Instagram, Save at 5%.
5%. That might be my lowest percentage ever. I thought that was a great app. Say, download your Instagram photos.
I just voted for you. Come on, I just voted for you.
It was a really good demo on Sci-Fi Sync. It was a really good demo. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, Ron. You can redeem yourself.
You got to get the game show, the wah, 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 wah.
Dang it. He is good.
Wow. Thank you, Bryan.
That is
impressive.
amazing.
Thank you.
So there we go. That means Ron, you are
lead off.
You're the loser. You got to go first.
Unbelievable. All right, well, I've got an app that is particularly of interest for anybody who lives in a major city with many different forms of public transit and is a commuter. Many people are, and getting around sometimes can be a challenge. Or if you're often in a city and with some strange public transit you might not be aware of, sometimes it's hard to figure it out. You go to D.C., you don't understand the metro system or whatever it's called, or you go to Atlanta and the MARTA, and here San Francisco has over 9 different forms of public transit, depending on where you're going. So there's an interesting app that came out called Urban Engines Public Transit. And this is going to get a little bit of criticism because you're all going to say, well, the Google Maps can do this. And it's true. Google Maps does do a lot of this, but Google Maps...
Until you press the magic button.
Well, there is the magic button, but also Google Maps does do a lot of all this, but also it does a lot of other stuff too, which, let's be honest, can get in the way. And sometimes when I'm trying to figure out where the dang bus stop is, I don't really care about the 3 bars that are around the corner or whatever other layer that you've turned on in Google Maps or whatever it might be. Sometimes you just want to know how to get somewhere. So this is Urban Engines Public Transit, And they have an interesting kind of UI. So first off, it loads up, defaults to my location, and it's using the device's native GPS signal to figure out where you are. And here I am. I'm at the Twit studio. But then they use these kind of flip cards that go up to look at other places. So they've got some places already preloaded. So if for some reason I wanted to go to Pier 39 on the Embarcadero, there's that map. Or they've got the Oakland Coliseum, and my tablet is going wacky. AT&T Park. These are all just kind of samples. You can load different locations and have them be your favorites and have them default to load up. So on my phone, I've got my home address, my work address, other places that I tend to go a lot, and it's real easy to just flip through to get to the ones kind of like your bookmark. So it's this interesting kind of way to do it. You can open up, it's all material design and all sexy, and I've got it on my phone, but I'm doing it on the tablet just to show you for the demo purposes, but this is really kind of a phone optimized kind of app. And what you can do here is they've got the ability to download complete maps offline of cities, which is, when you think about it, Google Maps does offer this as well too, but if you remember to do it, which is something that's burned me. But
and the way you do it is a little tricky too. You got to like zoom to the view, and then I don't know. Sometimes you just want to get the whole thing.
Exactly. And so what this allows you to do is get the whole thing. Like here we've got San Francisco, Boston, Chicago, LA, Vancouver, Toronto, Singapore, Seattle. And it not only is it downloading all the maps, but it's downloading all the transit routes, all the maps, all the stops, all the services. So all that stuff is contained in the app, and so you have it, which is really cool. Now, why that's important is when we get to the little magic button part that Myriam mentioned, they have something called X-ray view, which is basically augmented reality using the device's camera and the combination of the transit map to actually tell you where a stop might be based on where you are. So if you ever get lost, and it's not going to work here because we're inside and all that sort of stuff, and it's hard to do the demo here, but you see I've got this.
Oh, that is awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
That is pretty sweet.
And so once you can figure out, once you line up what you're looking at with the outside world, you can easily walk and go, okay, the bus I need to take is over there. I'm going to walk to that bus stop and go there. They actually show it much more elegantly in their product video, Bryan, if you want to show that. But
I never knew that there was a bus stop on my laptop.
Yeah, so there you go. But what's really interesting, so in this mode, it gives you the transit information. The video is kind of wacky and funny. It's got plunky guitars, they all do now.
Yeah.
But it's really neat because they give you this AR screen, and you just set it up over where you're looking at, and you line it up with where you're standing, and you say, okay, there's where the bus stop is. That's where I need to go, and boom, I can go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Currently, right now, they've got limited cities because they're just getting started. They've got Boston, Chicago, LA, New York, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, Vancouver, Washington, D.C., and Singapore, and they are planning on adding more. If you're a commuter or a traveler, I didn't even think about it tying into our earlier conversation, but if you're a traveler and you're getting around not by car but on public transit, whatever, this becomes a must-have. I mean, I'll give them credit that they have all 9 forms of San Francisco transport on here and all the maps that contain within there, which is quite a lot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So Urban Engines, public transit. It's an app that I've quickly grown to depend on. So there you go.
And I will back you up on it being awesome. I've been using it too since the launch, basically, and it's really great. The AR stuff is particularly exciting. It's really interesting to me because this is technology that Nokia already showed off on Symbian like 7 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the AR and and they've had downloadable maps forever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and here,
and then it went on to here and the Lumias and Windows Phone. But it's really interesting to me that there's finally somebody doing something like that out there that's not Google or not one of the big players.
Well, and that's the thing, is that it's great that Google has that stuff and you can get transit information and all that sort of stuff, and you have a go. But for me, I can't tell you how many times I open up Google Maps and I'm trying to find something specific, and it's like, no, I don't want that. No, come on, where is the thing that I'm looking for? And
you never know where the bus stop is, or what side of the street it's on, or what it looks like.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember? I can't remember which episode it was. I brought commute into the arena. Same deal. Yes, you get this information in Google now, but sometimes you want a direct access to it, and you want it to be a little bit more kind of pliable. Yeah, work with it a little bit.
There's something to be said for a good Swiss Army knife that can do a lot of things, but there's also something to be said for a really good Craftsman Phillips screwdriver that just does one thing. And I feel and this is the kind of thing where this just does that one thing really well.
Oh man, I love that that view. That's so great.
The AR is really cool.
And it's nice to know that there is a bus stop on my computer.
Yeah, there you go.
Just never knew that before. Cool. So that is Urban Engine's public transit for free in the Play Store. Myriam, you're up next. What do you have?
I have, since I have a G Flex 2 here, I have the Next lock screen by Microsoft. As you know, Microsoft has been doing, as we all know, they're going to be making Android phones very soon, right? Like this has been the ongoing theme. How many podcasts have been going on about this now?
It's kind of their thing
so
right now.
Clearly, they're clearly getting ready because now they gave us this lock screen. So this is what it looks like. There's really nothing to it here other than a app you installed called Next that lets you replace your lock screen with this one. As you can see, it shows you your upcoming appointments. You've got, you can pull it up like this and get to your most recently used app. There's a really cool feature. You can go like at work, set up a bunch of different apps at work or at home or on the go. And you get shortcuts for your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, your flashlight. There you go, really nice. And then you can settings, etc. You can give them feedback, which is very cool. And if you swipe from the top, it unlocks the phone. And that's really all there is to it. It's very interesting. It does seem to be a little buggy here on this phone where it gives me the other lock screen for whatever reason. So your mileage may vary. You can try this on different phones if you'd like. It seems to work best on phones that don't already have some kind of weird custom lock screen. But I think it's cool. And it's a simple app that summarizes things nicely. There's also another feature. Let me show you here quickly, which I think is great. And if you go in settings, you can actually see, wait, what the hell is it doing? Interesting. So it's kind of buggy right now because this, let me try it again. If I go into settings, on the go, settings, yeah, look at that.
Not selling it.
There we go. So it's because I'm running it on the wrong phone. But there's this missed call, so it can show you missed calls, meetings, and messages. So you can actually set, like, it's kind of like the peak notification feature that's native to this phone's UI, right? Mm-hmm. And if I turn it off, for example, you'll see what I mean. So if I lock the phone here, watch, this peak notification stuff. See?
Oh, yeah.
You can see it's like sunshine.
Just like on the Nokia
That's
phone.
built into the G Flex 2. And if you have any notifications, you can kind of peek at them by doing that. Ooh. But anyway, so they've provided this in the Z launcher as well. So I'm back to the regular launcher here. And it's an app you can bring up to just get to the settings real quick, like I just did. So if you want to get the settings, you don't actually have to go in the little settings button. You can just run the app from not the lock screen. And then if you lock it now, you're back. Ta-da.
There you go.
So that's it. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's yet another launcher. I'm also a big fan of Z Launcher, which is made by Nokia. Mm-hmm. And as you know, the Google Android, whatever, Google Now Android launcher, whatever it's called. I never remember.
Search Now, isn't it called, or whatever?
Yep.
I like how the essential trolling of the audience, first bringing out an iPhone and then doing a Microsoft app.
But that's the thing you have to understand is that as much of as there's no doubt that I'm primarily an Android user. If you look at the number of Android phones I use overwhelmingly, I love it. But it's like I'm a big believer that the only way you're going to be critical of what you use is to use the competition's products from time to time.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so that you'll never see me you see me every other day at the show. I have either a Pixel or a MacBook. Sometimes I'll bring out a Surface. That's how I roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And I know I've said it on the show plenty of times that I more and more I feel like I need to take the Pepsi challenge with iOS just to be educated, at the very least to be educated, but also enter it with an open mind, just because so often we talk about it as the other ecosystem. And honestly, I know nothing about that from a personal experience perspective.
It's easy.
One of these days I'm going to do that.
It's so easy to kind of get complacent about it and set in your ways, right? Like for me, I think part of the reason I've had a hard time with this iPhone experience for the last week is just because it's been almost somewhat traumatic in some ways. Is because I'm so used to Android. I'm realizing maybe I'm too used to it.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I use a lot of Google services. So even though Apple has, iOS has great apps, Google's made great apps for iOS for those services, they're just missing little bits and things that are just frustrating if you come from Android that you take for granted. Yeah. Yet, you talk to people who are tech savvy, early adopters, have had an iPhone for many years and use Google a lot and use those apps, and they're like, yeah, I have no problems. So, it's all about perspective. Is really
absolutely is. Agreed. So that is Next Lock Screen. It's a Microsoft app. So search for Microsoft Next, and you'll find it in the Play Store. You'll probably find it if you just search for Next, actually. So Florence, I have your app installed. I can show it off while you talk about it.
Thank you.
Yep.
So this week I have a very simple app that is very helpful. Unfortunately, not very helpful in the state of California because we are in the midst of a very bad drought. But it's called Raindar, and it's just a rain Doppler map. That's all it does. There's some settings where you can do cool things like see if traffic is being affected by the rain, or how fast the rain is moving, or that's about it. But all the information comes from Weather Underground, so it's all tip-top information. It's just great to have on hand. I remember when we had the storm back in December, the actual time it rained, I was using this, and it was really accurate.
I found some rain. Turns out there's not a lot of rain happening right now.
It's funny because
but did you look over? Wait, really? Because it says it's raining in Sacramento right now. There's a rain cloud.
There was a little bit over there, and I was trying to find it. But,
oh, wow.
There it is.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were just looking at... Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say you can adjust things like the transparency of the radar and the animation speed based on your phone or whatever you need. And you can search outside of your location. So you don't have to just see if there's rain within 20 miles of you. You can go anywhere in the world and see if there's rain.
Nice.
It's funny. I was just going to say you were up in the Northwest for a second. I was there this weekend, Seattle and Vancouver, and surprisingly, it wasn't raining.
Yeah, well, it
doesn't look like. Look, it doesn't look like.
That's a bit of a misnomer.
Climate change.
I know, no crap. It's pretty insane.
No, but there's traffic. There we go. There's a little bit.
Okay, but that's not Seattle or.
No, that's just north of Bend.
I remember when it used to rain in San Francisco.
I remember that too.
This used to be the rainy season.
The streets would be cleaner. Would be a lot cleaner.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of poop would get off the street.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember I used to have to walk home and because I grew up in the Bay Area, and I used to have to walk home in my little red raincoat.
Yep.
And,
I used to ride my bicycle from Potrero Hill to the Presidio every day, back and forth to go when I worked at Lucas Arts.
Yeah.
A 30-minute bike ride every day. And there was that one year, I think 2007 or 8, where it rained for 4 months in a row.
Yep.
And I would ride, I would ride in the rain, in the cold, in the wet, no matter what. And where are those days? Now it's all sunny and dry.
Yeah, I know.
A part of me loves the sun, and part of me dreads it for what it means for the rest of the
There was a live journal tag for that storm, by the way, which is why it was called Stormgate.
Yep.
It was a live journal tag.
Because live journal was the thing.
I remember those days.
I met my now fiance on live journal, so I can't hate.
A social media success story.
Yeah. We just got engaged 2 weeks ago. We met on live journal.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Don't hate on live journal.
I'm holding back. If you can tell, I've got a whole 10-minute set on live journal I could go into, but I won't.
Post show.
Yeah, exactly.
Invite me to that show.
So that is Raindar, like radar, but Raindar, and that is free. My app is primarily for Lollipop users. If you
that's like 3 of us.
Well, yeah. So I realize I'm limiting it a little bit, but I think it helps to solve an issue.
I wanted to do this app.
You did?
You stole it.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah, do it.
I got it. It's called Sound HUD, and basically what it is it's a way to tweak the volume panel in Lollipop. So what you'll see right now, if I go volume up. I actually have grown really accustomed to the volume panel in Lollipop now that I kind of understand.
Priority is awesome, right?
The priority is good. You can select certain things to pass through. But a lot of people complain about the fact that you don't have access to volume controls for things like media when you use this. You can't go all the way down and get to silent mode, that type of stuff. So this is Sound HUD. I'll go ahead and turn it on. And I'll show you. You can customize it basically, but essentially what you have is 3 different styles. You have the style that gives you the different volume controls for alarm, for your ringer, and for your alarm, ringer, and system audio. You have your expandable one, which is just like this really sleek up at the top method, which I probably wouldn't use because it doesn't give as much functionality, but it's
a good indicator though.
And a really thin volume strip, which is literally just that tiny little line up at the top there. I like this because it gives me everything. So if I'm about to play a video and someone's sleeping next to me, I can just kind of go, okay, sorry, hold on. There we go. Did I do it right? Where are you? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
The down arrow. Then I can turn it all the way down. But what this is, so you'll see I went all the way down and now there's a slash through the alarm. That's something that went away with Lollipop. There was no true silence mode. Now you get it back. And then I can go up and, go all the way down. I get true silence mode, up one, and I go to vibrate, and now beyond. So, it's just a way to kind of tweak your volume settings in Lollipop, which a lot of people, whoa, what was that?
My Pebble
Your Pebble has a ferocious...
It was just resting on this metal piece.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that thing will definitely let you know you just got a notification. No root required here. It does this all kind of, on stock. You've got a lot of ways to kind of tweak the color the colors of everything. You've also got expanded kind of controls for making assignments to different actions. So a long press volume up does this, it launches an app or shortcut, or volume adjust sound beeps when you're adjusting the volumes so that you know what level it's at as you go up and go down. Different things like that. There's different ways to kind of customize it to your liking. You can also add an item on the blacklist so that if you're running a particular app and you don't want this expanded this expanded control to come up for whatever reason, you can throw it in there. So it's called Sound HUD. I would imagine that's for a heads-up display. Or head-up display.
Well, you're going to win this week's app thing.
You're so
Well,
good.
but
I'm playing with it right now.
the only thing is that it's Lollipop only.
Yeah, it's isolated to Lollipop. People that
really
have never been on Lollipop don't understand what they're,
People using 99% of Android users.
There you go.
Still only like a 1% little.
So we'll see how this goes.
It's a cool app though. But who knows if it's going to be fixed in 5.1. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying that Google's not going
it gives you the 3 bars all the time now.
Well, yeah, you have the different styles, so you can select some of the other ones, but it also gives you the full-on mute.
What does the paid version do? Or the in-app purchase?
When you get the free version, you get access to all the features for 14 days.
14 days.
It's $1.50, $1.49 for the upgrade to keep those features, basically. Gotcha. And if it goes away, actually, I didn't read up on what you don't get if you don't pay that, but it's $1.50.
But once you have a taste for 2 weeks, you're gonna want it. Yeah. So it's $1.50. I mean, that's
so do they have any kind of fix other than like pushing the little arrow down bar to show you the other sliders, so that when you are listening to media, you can change your ringer volume, or the other way around? You know how one of the big problems with Lollipop right now is if you're listening to music, you don't get you can't go into priority mode.
Yeah,
you can't. You have to stop the music first and then go into priority mode.
Well, let's see here. So I'm playing music.
Yeah,
I volumed up and it went right, and it gives me my ability to do.
But then you can.
Can you go into priority mode now? Like priority all, that
turn that one down. Yeah.
I mean, I can make those changes, but I don't have direct access to Google's version of priority. So that is a little bit of a difference, right? You're choosing to go. Sorry, Google, go.
That always makes me laugh. I love you choosing to go. Sorry, Google.
Angry with you.
I love you choosing to go. Sorry, Google. I love you.
You're kind of choosing to go with the old style versus the new style. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Maybe is that more important to you? Is that less important to you? I don't know. I'm just going to keep on talking and see what happens, because really this is going to be the best Google search in the entire world.
I love you, Google.
It's really awesome.
Stop. I want to see what it looks for. Hold on.
Okay.
It's really awesome.
How about we go like this?
It's really awesome.
That's going to cancel it.
No, we got it. Okay.
No, start something that matters.
Start something that matters. Do something with your life.
Wow.
Oh,
all right.
Wow, motivational.
That second one was pretty
crap.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh my God.
Hey, by the way, I found this interesting. Okay, so this is a total side whatever.
Note.
It is, but it's interesting, and maybe you guys know this already. Google gives you access to every voice search you've ever done through the site.
It does.
And you can go to it. You can play.
Hella creepy.
You can play every. What's weird? Here's what I found really weird about it is when you have an Android Wear device or you have a device that has always listening mode.
Yep.
There are many times, decent amount of times throughout the day, throughout the week, where it fires off randomly like it just did. And what it does is it catches your random conversation. So when I went into my dashboard, I saw not only regular searches, I saw all of these bits and pieces from conversations throughout my life. And I was like, wait a minute. And they're like cohesive. It's like a tiny little paragraph that's like this conversation you had with somebody.
Freaking out right
it's
now. It's
weird. It's a little weird.
How are you not like, hello, Big Brother is listening? I probably should. I mean,
don't we already know that Google, keeps all this stuff?
I know, but it's still like, it still creeps me out a little bit. But then I'll forget about it.
But then you love Google now and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They just know everything about me. Where I parked my car.
Bleak in the chat room says,
type.
turn the hot
I don't
word
even know
off.
my
Yes,
blood type.
Yeah,
It
but
will
it's
soon.
interesting.
When you start using your Android Wear device uses your bloodstream to power itself, it'll know your blood type. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be a
That's how
glorious
you get the long-lasting battery life.
Right.
I like it. Powered by your blood. Okay, back on target now. If you want to vote for your favorite app from this week's arena, you can go to AAApoll.com/202 and let your voice be heard. I believe, did I publish the things? No, I did not. I'm publishing it right now, and now it'll work. I hope. Does it work?
It works.
Okay.
Yay.
Works. Yay. Is it Urban Engines, Next Lock Screen, Raindar, or Sound HUD? Check it out. Make your vote. Let your voice be heard because it's really important, folks.
You should vote for Raindar because I asked you to.
It's a good reason.
That's all the reason anybody needs. I think that's it.
That's it.
And
Too.
I think we may have made it. Well, we still went over.
Yeah.
We're peeling it back though. We're doing all right.
Powered through this one, didn't
We
we?
did. Okay, so let's see here. Florence, obviously you're going to Mobile World Congress, so I have a feeling I know what you're going to be writing about. Anything you want people to anything you want people to know about kind of where they can tune into your work and all that kind of stuff?
Guys, come to PCWorld.com and Greenbot.com. I'm going to be there all weekend, all week next week. I'm going to be really tired. You all the
But you love it.
better read it.
Excellent.
It's going to be good. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool. And you are on Twitter at @OhThatFlow.
That's right. And by the way, that's Princess Diana and Rihanna in one photo. I love that so much. My header. I'm really sorry.
Did you do that yourself?
No, it was on the cover of Interview Magazine, I think, or something.
Oh, okay. All right
then.
I had wondered, actually. Cool. Well, Florence, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. I love being on.
Excellent. Well,
Hey,
we'll
come
be
back.
in touch. We'll have you back soon.
I'll actually be in the studio. So.
All right, cool. Next time, we'll make it happen. There won't be Barcelona in the midst.
Barcelona.
That's true.
Myriam, what about you? What you got going on?
Mobile Congress as well. So I'll be heading out Thursday, and I'll be there probably till like the weekend after. I mean, it ends, the end of the week, but I'll stick around a little bit because
Wow, I'm jealous.
Well,
That sounds
it's
fun.
Barcelona. You'll have to. There's
totally.
good meat, good
ham.
food.
Yeah.
I said the meat for
I'm
you
actually
because-
going to Madrid after this is
Oh,
done.
nice.
I'm jealous of
I
both
don't
of you.
eat the meat that much, but you do. So good meat, good people.
Good meat and greet.
And then I'm back for a few days, and then it's South by Southwest. It's crazy. But anyway, what am I looking forward to? Just some of the stuff we talked. The HTC M9, the Galaxy S6 from Samsung. The anything else I guess thrown our way that wasn't unexpected. I think Sony's got a conference, so maybe we'll see something from them. There is there's everybody's getting a press conference or another, but I'm going to the Sony one. I'm gonna go. There's Microsoft one, so more Lumias I hope. Maybe we get to finally see a high-end Lumia again. It's been a little while. I'm a big fan. Doesn't really matter for all about Android, but hey.
You sample them all.
Sample them all.
Right on. Well, we really appreciate it. And have fun in Barcelona.
Look for me on Twitter. I'm TankerLTNKGRL, and my blog right there, Tanker Mobile. I just reviewed the G Flex 2 last week, and yeah, there's some stuff here and there.
Radical. All right, tinkgirl.com. Ron,
All right.
about you.
I will not be in Barcelona eating meat or looking at cell phones, but
Pobrecito.
I know I'll be jealous. But I will be home reading all the news that everyone else is writing about and probably commenting about it. You can find all my social media links over at about.me/RonXO. It links to my Twitter, Facebook, Google+. You can go to ronxo.thinkup.com and see all the little insights in my social media as I continue to be an unpaid advertiser for Gina Trapani. And during the day and at night and on the weekends, you can go over to imagecomics.com, check out all the great comic books, some of the best in the world. This week is an awesome week for comics, especially from Image. So go to the website. You can get them all in the Google Play Store, Comixology, wherever you like to read digital comics or print comics. Go to your local comic book store. So good stuff.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you, Ron.
No problem.
I'm sorry you're not going to Barcelona, but neither am I. So all right. I feel you.
I was just in Portland. I'm going to Seattle. I'll deal.
All right.
So,
Bryan, are you going to Barcelona?
No.
Tell me you're not going to Barcelona.
I'm not going to Barcelona either. Same boat with Ron.
All right.
Literally, we're going to be in the same boat together.
The same boat, not going to Barcelona.
Not going to Barcelona.
I don't know where it's going, but
sitting on somebody's backyard.
Just reading the news that everybody else is writing about.
Where will you be going?
I'll be going here to Twit Studios because every Thursday I do a know-how show with Padre where we just mess around and do some crazy stuff. But I've also been playing, if you want to keep up with me outside of behind the scenes of All About Android, the Google Stories on G+. I really like how it puts together all these pictures. So you guys were talking about the rain earlier. This is pretty much the results of the rain out in the hills right now, but it's probably not going to last long. So I try to take some advantage of that.
Of the green before it turns to the brown.
I know. So I flew the quadcopter around, did some other stuff. But if you follow me on G+, I also post some of the reviews that I do for BYB and know-how stuff. So check that out.
It looks like you have fun.
I sometimes get out of the studio.
In life, you have fun.
Sometimes.
We'll say the Google Plus did the little story of my trip to Disney and all that stuff, but I just haven't had time to edit it. But it's very
you definitely do have to go in there and edit it a little bit.
Yeah.
Takes a bit of work.
Google Plus did mine for my engagement, and that was super awesome.
Did it nail it? Did it actually say your engagement?
Yeah, no, but it just said Sunday afternoon in San Francisco, but everything was pieced together, and it was just fantastic.
Aww.
So thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google, for that free story.
It knows you so well. It almost knows your blood type.
No, actually, I would have been very scared if it would have said your engagement.
Yeah.
As for me, you can find me at about.me/Jason Howell. You can follow my musical exploits that I never update at yellowgoldmusic.com. Someday it'll happen. You can check out my other Android show. It's Android App Arena at twit.tv/arena. This week it's about battery, not battery management, because a lot of people think that's smoke and mirrors, but more battery, tracking your battery and ways you can kind of get to the root of the problem and stuff. Also showing off YouTube Kids on this week's episode. So that's twit.tv/arena. I hope you'll check it out. But that is it for this show. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. You can always leave us a voicemail at 347-SHOW-AAA. You can send us an email. We are AAA@twit.tv. We have a Twitter account. It's @AndroidShow. We have a subreddit. It's twitaaa.reddit.com. Let's see. Google Plus, there's a community. The community is awesome there. I'm in there every day, and just great conversation. And search for that. Show notes and past episodes at twit.tv/AAA. And finally, you can catch us live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, live.twit.tv. That is it for this week. We will see you next week on another episode of All About Android. I hope. I'm pretty positive it'll be all about Mobile World Congress. We'll see you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Token wave at the end.